let's continue playing Pathfinder Kingmaker. When we last left off, we had found a treasure room and we were trying to escape. Well, not necessarily escape the treasure room, but we are trying to, you know, escape all of the murderous bandits and the frost giant that have basically descended upon us at the start of the campaign. Meanwhile, though, we have a couple of quick lootables here, and then we have a puzzle room. So, we have to hit the statue, which causes certain knights to change, and if I remember this rightly, this will open one of the two, because there are actually two solutions to this. We'll go here first, because if I remember rightly, this one has something hidden in it. Because, of course, mimics are everywhere. Well, I don't think this one's a mimic. Maybe it is. It's a chair. No, it's an ooze. It's a funny looking ooze, shaped like a mimic, shaped like a chair, but it is, in fact, an ooze. Ice Blast. Or Ray of Frost. Fine. Ice Blast, Ray of Frost, same difference. Shoot. Miss. And hopefully double stab.
This should do it.
Unworthy.
And that is dealt with. And now it looks more like an ooze. And we have a small number of lootables. Okay, so we then go through the second part of this, and if I remember rightly, it is this, which lowers 3 of them, and then this one, which lowers the other 3? There are 2 that do 3 in sequence, and it's one of 1, I think. Nope, that wasn't it. Oh, god darn it. Okay. One of these definitely does work, though. So that lowered... Let's try you. Oh, now we've lost it. Okay. Alright, so that's everything up. I know 2 of these will lower 3, so that one lowers those.
Speak.
That only changes 2 of them. That doesn't change that, and we already know that doesn't change all of them. Okay.
Anything is possible.
Which ones affect 3? That affects 2. That affects 2. That does affect 3 of them. Okay.
Adventures call to them.
So let's try this one.
My patience is running thin.
Duccio, go and sort this out. We need the puzzle room. And then one of these 2 does the other one. There we go. Eventually worked out. And this allows us into the second of the treasure rooms, where we get another small number of coins. I mean, there's nothing too valuable here, with the exception of these masterwork nunchucks and a wand of magic missile.
That is not far.
I don't think any of us can use these nunchucks at the moment. With the except... No, even you can't use them. No, just none of us can use nunchucks. But they're here if you have them. Random monk weapons, because why not? Let's open the door.
Let's make this quick.
Oh, this is it. My time has come. Alright. Battle it is then.
Wretched thing.
And you're down. Shame we're probably not going to use J4 as a main companion. She's really reasonable at the start of this.
You deserved it.
1 damage. Alright, some stabs. Yeah, good old sneak attack damage. And then it just leaves you. We'll throw some ice at you. Oh, and here's Casey, who is able to burninate.
Everything is so much fun with a little fire. What a night, huh? I thought I was all alone. It's good you're here. A bit boring, chasing fool assassins without anyone watching the show.
It's not fun at all. Many people have died for nothing.
I don't think we've met.
I am Kaesi, one of the many here who seek a better fate, answering the call of Lady Jamandi. But unlike the others, I never dropped my guard, day or night. The why I'm still alive.
There are assassins on the prowl, we have to go.
I don't know where you're headed, but I'll be at the entrance to the main hall. I think I saw some guards there. Join me there, if you wish.
Okay, let's go and grab the rest of the things, and we have a quest to help the wounded dwarf. Also, we're now on the other side of where the frost giant came in, so we got that to worry about. And there is actually some stuff over here. How much of it is useful, I don't know. In fact, no, wait, there isn't actually any stuff here except one secret. So we all have passive perception checks that we're doing at various points. This has allowed us to get that, which opens this up. And what is here? A heavy, securely locked grate, and a gold ring, and a masterwork longsword. The masterwork longsword we might actually have a use for, but for now...
As it should be.
For now, let's go and talk to Harim.
I can sense your silhouette hovering over me. It won't be much longer. Soon we shall meet, O Lord of Oblivion.
The god of the end times. So, obviously we have various checks that we can make during speech things and whatever else. In this case, we have a +9 to both, so there's no difference really. We're going to be diplomatic rather than intimidating.
That's impossible. Oh, it seems you might be right. It seems I will live. I suppose I must postpone meeting my god, not for long, I'm sure. But while we remain in this transient world, Harim is at your service.
And thus, Harim has joined us. So, Harim is a cleric, chaotic neutral, which I've always, in my sort of parlance of things, given as insane. And I suppose worshipping a god of the end times does qualify for insanity. Still, Harim, though, is definitely one of my preferred characters in this game. Not because he's any good. In fact, 18 Wisdom Cleric, he's not the worst. Unfortunately, with negative to dexterity means he can't be sort of the frontline tank to basically absorb hits and protect the weaker members of the party. At least not as effectively. But, you know what? I still have a soft spot for him. And we might do something a bit weird with him as well. There's a build I found which I like a lot, and we'll see how this goes. But wait, we have a high wisdom cleric. As also mentioned in the last episode, I don't think we're going to necessarily have him at the start of this because we want to secure the other member of the party first. But we'll have an opportunity to get Harim later.
You, run and get an axe. You, bring more water. You, stay here and hold our defense. Those assassins are still around here somewhere.
Maybe it's the 4 armed people who've come up to you. Thought about that?
Aha! Some of our guests
Oh,
are
he knows
back.
their guests.
Good. You need to get to the banquet hall and help Lady Jamandi.
Where's the hall?
You'll have to run through the fire. We've almost put it out at the entrance, so your main concern should be to not inhale any smoke. Hold your breath and take the first right, then head straight down the hallway.
Do you need help putting out the fire?
No, we'll manage. I've got my best people here, those who still live. Your place is by Lady Aldori's side.
It doesn't seem right. What if some of the guards are wounded? We need to help them.
I'll go immediately.
Fire doesn't frighten me, thanks to hell's blood running in my veins. I'll go ahead and wait for you on the other side. Catch up!
May Abadar keep you safe.
Alright, let's go. What could possibly go wrong running for a burning room? We now enter the storybook stage of things. So every so often we will encounter sort of scripted storybook style things where we have decisions to make, and some of these will nurse experience, some of these will be based on skill checks, and some of them will give modifiers to things. So, let us drench ourselves with buckets of water, because that is the only way we could sensibly really do this. And cover our noses and mouths before we rushed inside. All seems sensible. Good thing we hadn't wasted any time. After entering the building and taking a few steps behind, the wall behind us slanted and crashed down with a terrible cracking sound blocking the way back. Or we may not have planned on going back. If we'd come in a little later, the flaming logs and the red-hot bricks would have fallen right in our heads. Regardless, we're left with only one way to go. Lendy suddenly refrains on the teacher did nothing useful at all. I wonder if we have a biased narrator here. Just opinions, but maybe we have a biased narrator here. Okay, she held a burned, barely living guard in her hands. There are 2 more. They are wounded. Help me pull them out. Meanwhile, Alendi. So, we have an athletics check, which we only have a +2 for, or we've got diplomacy if we use Tartuccio, where basically we tell them we should leave them and join other... We're going to go with the athletics check. We succeeded, which is, you know, not... barely, actually, looking at that. Still, it's good enough. And we have arrived on the other side. And we now have... Valerie, who is a lawful neutral fighter. Tower shield specialist, and is going to be sort of our frontline high AC tank in this game. Yeah. We'll basically nothing much to explain there. She also has this, which I think we can use here, or I use it here or here.
Don't hesitate.
But wait, it's a small little light effect. She's also got an effect. So as we go through the game, you'll see various status ailments and bonuses stacked up here. In this case, fatigue. So she's currently showing with a -2 to both her strength and dexterity, which is making her a little worse, generally speaking. But we'll worry about that as we go. In the meantime, she's armed with a Masterwork Bastard Sword, which is slightly better than the Masterwork Longsword. For some reason, I thought she could use that. And she can, but the Bastard Sword, I think, has a slightly better range, 1 to 10 versus 1 to 8, so we will try to stick with that. Meanwhile, we can sort out the party configuration here, because now that that's happened, we no longer want to be at the front of the party. We don't exactly have a general configuration that we're going for, but this is probably the one that makes the most sense for right this second. Again, we will adjust as we go on. Not exact, but I just want the people with the armor to be at the front. Or at least the main fighters to be at the front. Okay, let's head in. We get 8 coins, which we've left somewhere, and we're going to just dump a bunch of stuff here now. Largely so I don't have to worry about it earlier. Otherwise you have to go individually into each item to drop it. We definitely don't need all of those daggers for a start. We don't need the short bows. We don't need a spare tower shield. We might want a couple of these things here. I should probably have gone and checked what we can actually equip people with. But we're going to stick with both the armors here. The main threat thing that we want to do is try to get into medium encumbrance as often as we can. We still have a movement penalty, 83%, but it'll save us time overall. Clubs aren't worth anything either, 1 gold each. So where we can do it, we should try and get away with things. Where things have a bit of value, the longbow, for example, the ever-burning torches, we'll try and keep them, but essentially we want to be medium encumbrance at worst whenever we can get away with it. For reasons. And whenever we leave an area, it will warn us about that, and we dump it here. Reinforcements are already on the way. Say your prayers, scum! Yeah, she doesn't need our help.
Dispatch them and move on.
But we go. So turn-based combat. She's already dropped the Frost Giants. She does not need our help. But fine. She's sealed off in her own area, having her own private battle. We have to deal with the rest of them. Yeah, she even has a high-level cleric to support her. She does not need our help with any of this. These guys are nothing. Okay, let's...
Despicable.
Attack and crit 39. So times 4 critical damage has suddenly become effective. Rift Chandler has summoned a Manticore. Thankfully on that side of the things, because we could not deal with a Manticore right now. As evidenced. Yes, there's a huge epic battle going on, which is basically not involved. Harim. So Harim has a few things going for him. We're going to cast a Bless Spell. So Bless Spell gives us a passive +1 to all of our morale checks and attack rolls. Morale bonus on attack rolls and saving throws against fear. A couple of them will cast fear spells at us, I'm sure of it. because that's what low-level wizards in this game like to do. Tartuccio. We have Magic Missile. We will cast Magic Missile. Meanwhile, we have been noticed. Alendi, stab. We have stabbed. Lindsay, shoot you.
Last wishes.
The epic music has stopped. Alright, Valerie.
Let us strike as one.
We are doing a good job of turning people into paste. Jamandi, though, is better at turning people and things into paste. Alright, Rift Channeler goes for another thing, and another cure spell. Meanwhile, the wizard, protection from good communal. Thankfully not protection from law, that would be definitely illegal. Meanwhile, we need to go and deal with those archers. So, let's go for a charge attack. And we're going to charge into this bowman. Largely because this means that if we go into... If they try and shoot us now, at least one of them will get an attack opportunity from Jeffal. Meanwhile, I have no idea what you're attacking. Something invisible. Harim, let's start dealing with the channelers. Well, that's dealt with. Tartuccio, you have one more magic missile. Let's go. Alright, what do we want to do? We want to charge this bowman. Miss. Lindsay, let's start shooting the assassin leader's mirror images, because otherwise that's going to be a problem later. And here comes Amiri. And one more down. Alright, Valerie, let's go in, and again, mostly just trying to cause some problems for the leader there. Meanwhile, they're going to summon something, potentially. Cure light wounds. And there's the fear save we mentioned. Okay, let's kill the bowman. I want to just get rid of these people, then we can concentrate on the assassin leader afterwards. Also, note of note, we are shaken, but we are not actually afraid at this point. So we have a -2 on attack rolls, skill checks, etc. Less severe than actual fear, which would cause us to be running away right now. Harim? Harim's just Mage Slayer Supreme at the moment. Tartuccio, let's go and counter attack the other ranged attackers.
Let's try
Double attack.
this way.
2 images down.
Serves you right.
Shooting into melee gives us a negative. I should probably have gone for the Rift Channeler instead, but it's fine. I assume that Amiri is going to take care of something at some point. And there's one down. Meanwhile, this Rift Channeler is looking more and more doomed as the thing goes on.
Onward!
And... oh, we didn't quite get the last image off. Another cause fear. That is again shaken rather than actually cause the problem. Jafal, let's go attacking. Alright, out of images. Harim, Mage Slayer Supreme, charge. Yep, alright, Harim's just Bane of Mages. We will remember that for later in the game.
This should do it.
Sneak attack 1. Not able to finish,
You
and
deserved it.
I think at this point it's just auto attack, but I think Amiri's going to get the kill. Oh no, miss.
Stay behind me!
I'm sure whatever you're fighting is amazing, but we can't see it. And that was the attack of opportunity destruction that just occurred there. Let's pick up all of our loot. Probably far too much loot that we don't actually care about. And let's go... oh, actually, also we want to loot the Frost Giant. That's definitely our kill. Definitely our kill. Alright, let's speak.
Thank you for your valor and bravery. The enemy was strong, but you were stronger. And that means I made the right choice. Just as I thought, there were worthy leaders among you. I'm especially grateful to them for the courage and common sense they showed while defending the mansion. But this attack means we have even less time than I thought. Someone already knows of our plans and is acting against us. You'll begin your expedition immediately.
Lady Aldori, please, I know who arranged this attack. The vile king of Pitax, Iroveti. What's more, I know who among us works for him. Hey, you! Show everyone the ring you're wearing. You think I wouldn't recognize Iroveti's seal? That's why he wasn't killed. The bandits recognized him as one of their own by this signet ring.
So we have a diplomacy check, which is +6. It's important to note that we no longer have Tartuccio's diplomacy skills here, or we can show our hands what ring, what are we talking about. But we'll go for the diplomacy check.
Yes. Such a gambit would be typical of Iroveti and his henchmen. And yet, it still seems suspicious. There's definitely a spy among us. But who? All I have is one word against another. I'm afraid you're both under suspicion.
I do have a halo, but I suppose that's not indicative of anything.
They both came to your aid, Lady Jamandi. But a liar's cunning knows no bounds. I've never met these two or their companions. For all I know, they're all conspiring spies.
How could you say that? We fought together. We literally went through fire together. And then you vanished into thin air. After you promised you'd wait.
I mean, going through fire together doesn't really work for a tiefling that's immune to it, but yeah, okay.
My words might be rash.
I bet my life despise anyone but this man. I saw how he dealt with those creeps with my own eyes. A true warrior. I'd go with him through hell and high water. This purple crook, on the other hand, he's got the eyes of a spy and the mug of a spy.
What else of a spy has he got? Alright, but thank you, Amiri.
Lady Aldori, don't listen to this thick-headed barbarian. She doesn't know what she's talking about. During the attack, our leader showed his true colors. He forced us to break into the armory and rob it.
And we did. We, however, are going to ask for forgiveness. We were in the middle of battle and in dire need of weapons.
Considering the circumstances, that was more than reasonable.
Which we succeeded. Now, had we have stolen the gold, there would have been an extra check here that we'd have to justify.
That was a sound decision. Sometimes one
Also, for
must
some
act
reason,
at
this
one's
is
own risk
bugged
and
here.
peril until crossing the boundaries of what is allowed. Showing initiative is no crime.
It is insane when faced with death to stop and question whether you may be breaking some law or rule. Even more insane would be to ask forgiveness for making the right decision. Sorry, but your words display a lack of wisdom.
And yeah, we're not going to get her in as a character for right this second.
What about that trick he pulled right before we came in here?
What trick?
He knew very well you were fighting the enemy, but instead of rushing to help you, he dallied as long as he could, dropping everything to save people from the fire, even though the guards were handling things just fine. He was obviously hoping to show up too late and find you already dead.
Well, obviously there's a neutral good decision here, so let's go.
Really, Tartuccio? You're seriously trying to blame someone for saving people from a fire?
May Shellen spare me from ever having to make such a choice, but he behaved decently as a true leader.
A true leader is someone who has their priorities straight, not someone who would put a valuable ally's life in danger for the sake of some servant.
And I think it's fairly obvious there in terms of which characters we will recruit based on the events that we have triggered.
Enough squabbling. I'm still not sure which of you I can trust. However, the risk of entrusting the whole affair to a spy is too great. Here's what we'll do. 2 teams will head out. That way, I'll know at least one group can be counted on to serve my interests in the stolen lands.
Lady Aldori, most of those who are to set off for the stolen lands have been killed. Those who yet live will require help. Please allow me to join the expedition.
I'm sad to lose such a talented warrior. But you're right, Valerie. They have greater need of you right now. Go, and may Abadar keep you. Which of the two teams would you prefer to accompany?
If my leader allows, I would join his team. He seems a worthy commander in my eyes.
Commanders, military leaders, all these laws and rules are but dust and vanity. I suppose I will accompany Tartuccio.
Our leader is good in battle, but I don't like all the spiritual agonizing. I prefer those who can act without wasting time helping every little pipsqueak. Those like Tartuccio.
Ugh, Tartuccio's going to take the credit for himself and be done with it. Shellen, spare me from such allies. I'm going with you. You're a hero worthy of my quill.
As for me, I know neither of these two. At least, not well enough. And I have no wish to become an unwitting pawn to an unworthy leader. If Lady Jamandi allows, I'll remain in Restov and help mend the wounds this attack has inflicted. But who knows? The road may bring me to the Stolen Lands, but not yet.
So we'll encounter her later in the game, but yeah, we now have our starting party.
I'm
Oh,
coming with
plus
this
Amiri.
man. As for you, Purple Toad, just wait until we meet along the way. I'll be sure to hang your rotten spine guts from the trees.
All right, we have two teams. To avoid unnecessary conflict on the road, you'll each take a different route to the Stolen Lands. Tartuccio's team will go through Navakta's Crossing. The garrison commandant will provide him all the help he needs. You will take your team to Oleg Levitin's trading post. He's been complaining about the Stag Lord's bandits for a while now. There, you'll be provided with all the necessary travel supplies. I'd like to believe you, but I know all too well how convincing traitors and spies can be. If you're truly innocent, I hope you can forgive me this precaution. While you're away, Keston will investigate the night's events and learn who in Restov is working for Patax. But you should know that it isn't just Patax we need to worry about. The royal house of Sertova may also interfere in our plans. I've managed to keep this affair a secret from them so far, but that can't...
It's only literally just happened.
By my estimations, you have no more than 3 months. After that, any feats you accomplish will be pointless.
So we have a timer on ourselves,
And
but
now,
it's not...
Farewell. This battle was but the first ordeal along your path, and you overcame it as true champions of Restov. May the obstacles that follow also fall to your feet. Fear nothing, my friends, and return victorious.
So, yeah, we have a 3-month timer, but it's not a very arduous thing. You can absolutely make sure you explore everything and not even really have a concern about the timing. We'll still go to medium encumbrance because, you know, there's no point in wasting time, but you shouldn't have a problem with it. And thus, we are, I believe, done with the prologue. Is it going to call chapter 1 now? Maybe. Anyway, we're setting off the first big adventure.
Surviving a terrible night, our small team set off to brave our fate. Beware, Stolen Lands. Heroes are on the way.
They indeed are. So, this is our starting party. And the only person we have left to go with over is Amiri, who's also chaotic neutral. Yeah, insane, but for different reasons than Harim. Still. Inventory. She has a unique weapon, which is the Ginormous Sword, which is an oversized... I think I can do this, yep. Which is an oversized +1 bastard sword. So, exceptionally large, but attacks with it suffer a penalty of -2 to attack rolls. So she's less likely to hit, but she's going to do a lot more damage. She also is with hide armor at the moment. We can upgrade that to chainmail. Because why wouldn't we? And let's actually sort out... Price of descending order is probably the reasonable way to tell what's useful. So we have a potion of remaining blindness, and we have some braces of armor, which unfortunately nobody here I think needs it. You already have armor, so I don't think this improves things. It does not. One other thing is that Lindsay does have Shellen's Embrace. Since Lindsay is literally telling the story from here, she cannot actually die. Well, finally die anyway. What we are going to do, though, is get rid of a few other bits of armor that we are missing out on. Unfortunately, as mentioned, We have to do this individually now, so we are going to focus on the armors here. Get ourselves down to just about medium encumbrance, and then we will see. Unfortunately, certain things are quite heavy. In fact, let's sort by weight. There you go. Badoop. Badoop. And badoop. Shield is only worth 2 gold. Definitely not worth holding on to. That puts us to medium. Is there anything else we want to grab? Let's drop the spear as well. Okay. Medium encumbrance. Then let us go. So on the map, we will see that we can go from rest of in various directions. In this case, just the one. So let's head off. And as we go, time passes. And occasionally, we will encounter things. So let's see what the random encounter is all about. Okay, we are randomly attacked by Phylocanes, who have hit me for 1. Valerie?
Let us strike as one.
So a not super tough encounter, but still, random encounter.
A calculated risk.
Sneak attack you to multiple enemies, and what are you going to do? Come in and miss. Amiri, destroy. So, yeah, pretty good. Also, she's still raging from the other thing, which now means she's fatigued, so she now has the strength penalty for another minute. This shouldn't be a problem. Oh, we should also skin them. So, with wild animals, we have a nature check to try and collect some additional lootables. Didn't happen this time. Since this is a temporary map, I don't think there are any items that spawn on there. We'll have a check as we go, but I think it's fine. And here we are, Oleg's trading post. Let us enter. And I think now that we are here, this is a reasonable enough stop point to save and split the video off here. Next time we'll begin chapter 1 in earnest, which is going to begin with the trading post. So, until then.